Good morning, CSL. I am Reverend Skip Jennings, your associate minister here, and it's my divine pleasure to welcome you into our sanctuary. Good morning, Facebook family. Here at CSL, we have 7 core values. They are love, healing, oneness, abundance, spiritual growth, service, and diversity. All are very important, but today we're going to focus in on service. So yesterday, we had our first New Year's Day retreat here, and we had 50 members and non-members to join us for this sacred experience. I want to give you all a hand clap. It was truly my favorite retreat, and I've facilitated many retreats, my favorite retreat that I've ever done. So I'm getting ready the whole entire week, and I'm thinking what I'm going to talk about at the retreat, and I'm driving in yesterday morning, and it dawned on me, oh, you have core values. You have to figure out what you're going to say. So I prayed, and I didn't get anything at first, but then it was at the very end where we're cleaning up the room, and my friend Greg said this to me. He said, our members are going to feel so good from the energy work that we did today. And I realized in that moment, that was service. See, when we say, I pray for you, or I'm going to hold you in my thoughts, or do a prayer treatment, or meditate, it is a vibration. It is a vibration that pours out like a ripple effect throughout the world. So when we say I'm going to pray for someone, and when we say that I have you in my heart, that is the ultimate sacred service. Know this, y'all. What we do here today, it will be felt throughout Fort Lauderdale, throughout Florida, throughout the world. Today, our focus and our core value is sacred service. Thank you.
CSL is part of a global organization with over 500 centers worldwide. We're a spiritual community that honors all religions and all faiths, and that's because we know there is no wrong way to worship, whether you're lighting a candle, repeating a mantra, or saying a prayer. We respect and we honor any path that leads anybody closer to love, closer to God, closer to Spirit. So we celebrate the diversity in religious practices today with our service that we call the Flames of Faith. The candle is lit for the Tao to honor the universal path of harmony, the natural way. The candle is lit for the shamanic traditions honoring the belief and practices of all indigenous peoples worldwide. The candle is lit for Hinduism to honor the spiritual path of devotion and the variety of religious icons and deities. The candle is lit for Judaism to honor the path of sacred law. The candle is lit for Buddhism to honor the 4 noble truths and the way of compassion. The candle is lit for Christianity to honor the Christ and the Christ consciousness that lives in every single person. The candle is lit for Islam to honor the path of peaceful submission to the will of God. The candle is lit for the universalistic religion of Baha'i to honor the path of unity. And the candle is lit for our own faith, which we call New Thought, to honor the metaphysical path and the practice of universal spiritual principles. And finally, the last and final candle is lit for peace, the thing the world needs the most, and the peaceful acceptance of all faiths and spiritual practices worldwide. Oh my God, Happy New Year, everybody. Yeah. I was vaccinated once, I was vaccinated twice, I was boosted, I've tested negative, and I'm wrapping myself in bubble wrap for the whole damn year. It's a new dawn, it's a new day, it's a new year, thank God. Aren't we ready for something new? I am so ready for something new. Well, good news, we've got something for you. This month we're launching a bold new series all on our CSL Manifesto, and we've been plastering the airwaves on social media to launch it. Maybe you've seen it. If not, check this out. They're going to show it now.
There is purpose and meaning to my life. There is nothing accidental or negotiable about my uniqueness. Who I am and what I do matter to the next generation. I am here to leave the world better than I found it. We are not just connected, we are co-creative partners in the healing of our world. We are here to change the world.
CSL. So all of our lessons in January will be about this, how we as unique expressions of spirit are here to make a difference, to leave this world better than we found it. So this is a good time for you to invite your friends to CSL or for you to host a watch party if you're one of our online viewers, because this is a place to activate your spirituality and learn how to live a healthier, happier life in 2022. Let's create something new in 22. That's my motto. So to kick it off, I want to start with 3 new ideas. So this is all about you and your life and how you're living it. So here they are. These are the 3 things that you need to know about yourself that maybe you didn't know. The first one is, what makes you weak will make you strong. What makes you different is what makes you interesting. What makes you weird is what makes you wonderful. A few days before Christmas, I took my dog Jack out for a walk. Now, Jack is 16 years old. He turned 16 in November, but he's been going really strong. A couple of years ago, he lost his hearing, and he has cataracts, so he's not able to see very well. But even though he can't see me very well, and he can't hear anything I say, when I lean down and I talk to him, his little tail wags. And do you know why that is? Because love isn't communicated with your eyes or your ears. It is communicated from one heart to another. Last week, when I took Jack out for a walk, he had a stroke. And he fell on all fours, and he couldn't walk, and he stopped eating, and he stopped drinking, and he was having trouble breathing and choking just to stay alive. So reluctantly, Aubrey and I took him to the vet to put him down. And you need to know that that absolutely slayed me. I felt pain in my heart. Now, for you people who are not pet owners and you think, oh my God, it's just a dog, really, what's the big deal? I used to be like you until I experienced the unconditional love that comes from a pet that you can so rarely ever get from another human. Imagine every single day of your life coming home to a heart that jumps in love and a tail that wags in joy. No human will do that for you. In fact, when we first got Jack, Aubrey got upset with me because when I would come home, I would greet the dog first. And he said, really? You're greeting the dog first before me? And I said, well, when you jump up and down and wag your tail every day when I come in the door, I'll greet you first. End of story. Not going to happen. No human will ever love you that enthusiastically every day. And when you have to let go of that love, when you have to hold the body of your pet in your arms while the vet injects a drug in his little body that will end his life, it's heart-wrenching. So I left the vet's office that day and went home for the first time in 16 years to a home without a pet. And it weakened me. There are many things in life that we have to face that weaken us. When someone we love dies, the changes that come from aging, the challenges of an illness. As Ralph Waldo Emerson says, our strength grows out of our weakness. When a bone is broken in your body, the intelligence within your body immediately goes to work to mend it. And when it is reformed, it is actually stronger than had it never been broken before. And it's a signal from the universe, a message from God that says, I got this for you. And not only will you survive it, out of your weakness you will grow stronger, you will grow wiser, and here's the thing, you will grow closer to love. That's the strength that grew out of the weakness of my heart from losing Jack. I found out that I learned something about love that I didn't even know I had never known before. You see, Jack taught me that everything yields to love. Everything. Nothing is more valuable and nothing is more important. And that's what makes it okay for the dog to take a crap on the $1,000 Crate and Barrel rug. You know? That's what makes it okay. And that's what makes it fine for your kid to wreck the car and your cat to shred your designer shoes. Because everything yields to love. Nothing else matters. Nothing else is important. Nothing else is invaluable. Remember that. It's important. So when you feel weakened by life, hold on. If you feel like you've been let down by others, get ready to stand up again, because out of your weakness will grow a strength. You see, you may not know this yet, but the power that runs the universe and hangs the stars runs through your veins. It's in your blood. What makes you weak will one day make you strong. Probably like many of you, I spent a few years of my life trying to fit in, trying to be like other people. I was never much of a people pleaser, but I sure wanted to blend in, and I wanted to sort of hide out in the crowd. In fact, I even prayed about it when I was a kid. You know, I would say, please, God, make me normal. Thank God for unanswered prayers, right? Because you can tell by looking at this, there ain't nothing normal happening up here. And I'm proud of that. And I want you to be proud of that, because what makes you different is what makes you interesting. Check out this video about it that I found on the web.
The truth is, you will never win in life by being someone you are not. You cannot ever live the life of your dreams by settling for someone else's idea of what you should be doing with your life. You will never, ever be happy if you change who you are to fit in with others. Until you accept and embrace who you are destined to live a life at only a mere fraction of your potential. It is simply impossible to be genuinely happy when you are not genuinely yourself. You must be yourself if you want to experience your true purpose in life. If you're different, be different. Be different and do it with pride. If someone doesn't like it, if many people don't like it, who cares? Those aren't the people for you. There is better. The right people will show up when the real you comes out. There will always be someone prettier. There will always be someone smarter, stronger, richer, younger. But there will never be another you.
You know, I always tell people when God made Chris Michaels, it said, that's enough of that. We don't need another one of that. One is going to be plenty for the world. And that's true of you too. You see, most of the struggles that we have in life come from not just being who we are and having the courage to stand up for who we are or accepting less than what our hearts truly desire. The one big thing that most people struggle with all throughout their entire lives is this story that says, I'm not good enough. And we hear that voice a million times in our heads. It is blasted across the airwaves of all the media. It's even in our own homes by people that don't really understand our worth and value. My parents didn't know anything about self-esteem, so how could they teach it to me? They didn't practice spiritual principles that teach self-service and self-value and worth, so how could they ever teach it to me? I had to find my own way out of the dark. I had to teach myself the truth that they couldn't teach me. The truth that I'm not a child of God. I'm not a student of God. I'm an expression of God, a once-in-a-lifetime unique opportunity for God to experience itself, never again repeated in all of time and history. And that's what you are too. That's what you are too. You are God's opportunity to be something it's never been before. So nobody loves like you love, and nobody feels what you feel, and no one can see what you can see. Without you, we don't have the full picture of reality. So you got to tell us what you can see. You got to show us how you love. We need all of you to be who you are now. We need the full dose, the real you, not the scared little version that you're not good enough. We need you to have the courage to be authentic, to stand before the world and say, this is who I am. This is who God made me to be. Love me. And if you love me, come close. And if you can't love me, move back, because I'm going to give my love to those who can accept it. In his essay, 180 years ago, Ralph Waldo Emerson wrote in Spiritual Laws this: I desire not to disgrace the soul he means as God. I desire not to disgrace the soul. The fact that I am here certainly shows me the soul has need of an organ here. Shall I not assume the post? Isn't it time you assume the post that nature has assigned for you? Isn't it time you had the courage to be the unapologetic version of yourself? Aren't you getting tired of living in fear? Isn't it exhausting? Yes. You know what my greatest fear was? When I was trying to find the courage to be the full dose version of what God created me to be way back then, you know what my biggest fear was? That it would run everybody off. That I have no friends and no one would want to be around me. Many of my friends at that time had basically said that. They said, when I would be more of who I am, they would say, you're too much. Chris, you're too much. You're too much. You need to tone it down a little bit, they'd say. You're too awake. You're too conscious. You're too much. And I'd tell them, there's no dimmer switch here. I don't know how to be less of who I am. And I don't want to be less of who I am. And if you need me to be less, you need to go. The truth is, many of those people who were in my life back then did go. They started to leave when I started to change. And that's okay. Because I can testify that what the guy said in the video here is right. The right people will show up when the real you comes out. Before I moved to South Florida, I lived in Kansas City, Missouri for 26 years. There is one person in the room that is happy about that. And it's not me. There's a county in Kansas City, Missouri, or outside Kansas City called Johnson County. It is the first county that you cross the line in when you leave the state of Missouri over into Johnson County. Johnson County was founded and expanded in the 1970s and ended up being the suburbs of Kansas City because the white people fled in the 70s to avoid the growing diversity of the urban core. If you go into Johnson County, you will see that most all of the homes look alike that were built after 1970. There is absolutely no architectural diversity whatsoever. They're all big, beige boxes. And if you go inside one of these big beige boxes, you will see that the walls are painted also beige to match the carpet that is beige. A local real estate friend of mine calls it Johnson County beige. Beige is boring. It is the color of conformity. Don't be beige. Don't try to fit in. Try to stand out. Because you know, it's the little things that are making you different, that are making you interesting. The little different ways that you laugh that nobody else laughs. The strange little sense of humor that you have. The way you talk, your accent. What makes you different is what makes you interesting. I think it was about 3 years ago, I went to Greece. Remember travel? Yeah. Can we do that again this year? Let's travel. Anyway, I was in Mykonos, and the day that we were there, a cruise ship came into harbor, and it was filled with Japanese tourists. So within an hour, the town was completely overrun by these little Japanese women who were very demure, walking around carrying parasols, all of them, to protect their alabaster skin. Now, why they went to Greece, I don't know. And they all had on some variation of the exact same dress. It was a flowing floral print that reached just above their ankles. And I looked at this sea of tiny little Asian women slowly walking in their floral print dresses, carrying their parasols, and I thought to myself, oh my God, I'm in an episode of The Stepford Wives. All quiet little women walking submissively and obediently behind their husbands. Emerson said, whoso would be a man must be a nonconformist. Be your own man. Stand in your own power, not in the shadows of other men. But Emerson wrote 200 years ago for men. So I'm going to update his words. I'm going to give you something a little more inclusive. So I say, whoso would be a woman must be a wild woman. A wild woman. I think the world has seen enough of passive women and dainty little girls programmed to think the only thing they have to bring to life and to men of value are their boobs and their butts. We don't need more Kardashians. We need more Yolanda Lopez's and Cecilia Tyson's and Bell Hooks. And if you don't know who those women are, you need to look it up. You need to look it up because they made extraordinary contributions to our world. We don't need any floral print submissive little girls anymore. We need wild, weird, wonderful women like Betty White. Women who aren't afraid to stand out, who aren't afraid to speak their mind and stand up to men. Women who aren't going to apologize just for being alive and listen to mansplaining. Ladies, do I hear an amen? Remember this. What makes you weak will make you strong. What makes you different is what makes you interesting. What makes you weird is what makes you wonderful. Wonderful. So, on your seats this morning is this manifesto card. Check this out. We printed thousands of these, so You can take some today if you want to. When you leave, they'll be at the desk. If you want to see what our manifesto says, if you're online, you can go to our website, cslftl.org. And if you'd like one of these cards, then you can just give us your email address. The first few words of this card say this: there is purpose and meaning to my life. There is nothing accidental or negotiable about my uniqueness. I will not negotiate my worth or my value. Not for you or not for anyone. You are not an error. You are not a fluke or a mistake of nature. You are chosen to be here at this time in history. It's time to assume the post. It's time to wake up to your power. It's time to begin anew. So join us for a month of Sundays to discover your place in the changing of our world. Happy New Year, CSL. And so ends the lesson. There's a time to stand up and shout. Shout to the world, this is the truth. There's a time to sit down and be still. There's a time to lead. There's a time to follow. In our relationship with God, in our relationship with love, that is also the truth. Let's take some time now to be still, to close our eyes, to go within.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find, Spirit leads me there, Spirit meets me there.
There's a place we call home. The houses, the apartments, the places we dwell on earth that we call our home, where we have drawn and attracted those to us who have the capacity to love us, hopefully, where we are safe from the harsh realities of the cold world, hopefully, where we have created a place in our home to rest when we are weary, hopefully. All that we attempt to create and call home here in human life is a cheap facsimile of our true and real home in spirit, where we are loved unconditionally, where we have eternal strength and power, where we are accepted exactly as God has created us, where we are constantly safe because there is no harm in a universe created and sustained by perfect love. Let's take a minute today to remember our true home, to bring it home in our hearts so that we can make it a reality in our experience. Let's be still. Remember this truth. Everything yields to love. There is nothing more powerful. There is nothing more meaningful. There is nothing worth more than the love in your heart, the love you give to others, and the love that you receive back. go love more. And so it is.
I breathe out, I breathe in, I am still, I go within. When I quiet my mind, in the stillness I find, Spirit meets me there, Spirit meets me there.
We close our service as we all do with our closing affirmation. Yours is exactly like mine, and I know it because I wrote it. Would you say it with me? It says, I am one with the universal presence that creates all things. My transformation starts today with a big resounding yes. Let's know this truth. There has come a light into the world. It is the light of every single individual on this planet that God has created. We are its opportunity to experience love and express itself in a unique pattern that has never been created and never will again. We are the life of God making its entrance into the world to be something new, something that has never been before. Understand your worth, your value. You are priceless, you are ageless, you are timeless, you are eternal. You are God as life, as love. Know this truth about you when you go to work. Know this truth about you when you go on a date. Know this truth about you when you look in the mirror. It is God looking back. It is love wanting to be experienced and be expressed. It is power rising within you to take on any challenge. Let's face this new year with faith, not fear. Let's move forward, taking the actions that will lead to the highest possible good for our spirit and our life. Let's do it individually. Let's do it together as CSL. And so it is. Thank you for being here. We'll see you next Sunday, 10:30 a.m. Thank you for watching, and thanks for supporting CSL. If you'd like to know more about us, check us out on our website or social media. Blessings.